Yo guys, what's going on and welcome back to another video. Now it is coming to that time of year once again. FIFA 22 is nearing an end and the hype for FIFA 23 is already here. The trailers are dropping, there's more leaks than there was on the Titanic, and it's that time of year again for me to predict who I think are going to be the new icons in FIFA 23. Now, as I just mentioned, FIFA 22 has been the year for leaks. Every single thing has been leaked and spoiled. Occasionally EA threw wrong ones in there just to put people off, but normally the leaks were correct. So obviously when recording this video I've tried to avoid as many leaks as possible. The only one that I've seen is apparently going to be an icon is David Villa. So obviously I haven't included David Villa because there's not much of a prediction if I know he's going to be on the game. But as I have done in previous years, I have 10 players that I think could be and should be icons. I will rank them least likely to most likely, 10 to 1, and if I remember I will put timestamps down below so you can switch between whichever icon you want to see. But with that being said, let me stop talking and let's finally jump into number 10. Coming in at number 10, we have someone that if you've seen my videos before, you've probably heard of this guy because I talk about him quite a lot. It is the gentle giant, John Charles. For those of you who have seen my videos before, I'm sorry, I'm going to talk about him once again, but I do genuinely believe this year is the most likely that he'll be added into the game, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Throughout his career, John Charles made over 700 appearances at club level and plays most notably for Leeds and Juventus. He also scored 370 goals at club level. He also managed to score 15 goals in 38 appearances for his national team Wales, which doesn't sound a lot to be fair, but I did some research and apparently the reason is when he was playing for Juventus, he was so important that Juventus wouldn't let him play for Wales. John Charles is also an unusual player in the sense that he played both as a centre-back and a striker in the prime of his career. And for me, this is perfect for the three-tier icon system that EA have in their game, because you could have one or two cards as a striker and then the third one as a centre-back, just completely randomly. John Charles is considered to be one of, if not the best Welsh player of all time, and he achieved many achievements throughout his career. Most notably, in 1959 he came third for the Ballon d'Or behind Alfredo Di Stefano, but ahead of both Yashin and Puskas. However, the real reason why I've put John Charles in once again is because this is a World Cup year and there's going to be a World Cup game mode on FIFA 23. Recently, Wales qualified for the World Cup for the first time in 64 years. And I think you can probably tell where this is going. The last time Wales were in a World Cup, John Charles was the main man in the squad. He was effectively the Gareth Bale of the squad at that time. He was part of a Wales World Cup squad that made it to the quarter-finals, which is the furthest that Wales have ever got in the competition. They made it out of their group undefeated, although I think they didn't actually win any games either, they just drew all of them. And then they beat Hungary in a playoff match, Hungary team that had Puskas in it, and then they were drawn against Brazil. They lost 1-0 to Brazil in the quarterfinals to a goal scored by a 17-year-old kid called Pele, and Brazil then went on to win the World Cup. The quarterfinal game against Brazil, John Charles was actually ruled out through injury, and people claim that his presence would have meant that Wales could have easily beaten Brazil, and apparently they could have gone on to win the whole competition, which I don't really think that's true. As mentioned, it is fair to say that John Charles was easily Wales' best player in that World Cup, and since that is the last World Cup Wales played for, it could be perfect for EA to add in John Charles even as a World Cup icon in FIFA 23. Coming in at number 9, we have Michel Platini. Platini is widely considered to be one of the best players of all time. He played as an attacking midfielder, most notably for Juventus, and he also obviously played for his national team, France. At club level, he scored 312 goals in 580 games, and he also received 72 caps for France and scored 41 goals, which makes him the 4th highest scorer in France's history. And just for a comparison, he scored 10 more goals than Zinedine Zidane in 36 fewer games. As well as winning multiple league titles early on in his career, when he moved to Juventus, Platini won 2 league titles, 1 Coppa Italia, a Champions League, a Cup Winners' Cup, a Super Cup and an Intercontinental Cup. With France, he also won the Euros in 1984 and reached 3rd place in the 1986 World Cup. Platini also received a ridiculous number of individual achievements throughout his career, most impressively winning 3 Ballon d'Ors back to back to back. Platini was definitely one of the greatest players of all time. You're probably wondering, if he's so amazing, if he's as good as this and a 3 times Ballon d'Or winner, why have you put him 9th? Well, the reason for this is because Platini is never going to be an icon, and this is just because of his affiliation with UEFA. For those of you who didn't know, Platini was the president of UEFA for many years until 2015. Now that's probably enough to not make you an icon. However, to top it off, in 2015 he was banned as being the president due to ethics violations with regards to the 2022 World Cup. So it's pretty safe to say he's never going to be an icon. Coming in at number 8, we have Bobby Charlton, or should I say, Sir Bobby Charlton.
Respect.
Again, Bobby Charlton is regarded as being one of the greatest players of all time, and possibly England's greatest ever player. Sir Bobby played at centre attacking mid and centre forward, most notably for Man United, and in his club career he played 807 games and scored 260 goals. For England he also received 106 caps and scored 49 goals. His goal scoring record meant that at one point he was the top scorer for both England and Man United. However, since then Rooney has overtaken him for both. With Man United he won 3 league titles, an FA Cup, 4 Charity Shields and the Champions League. However, easily his most notable achievement is helping England win their only ever World Cup in 1966. He didn't actually score in the final, but he did score both goals in a 2-1 win in the semi-finals to take them to the final. As well as winning the World Cup in 1966, Sir Bobby Charlton also won the Ballon d'Or in the same year, following it up by being the runner-up in 1967 and 1968. Now the only reason why I've predicted him 8th is because, to be honest, I can't really see a reason why he's not an icon already, and I think there must be a reason for that. Now obviously, for those of you who didn't know, for a player to be an icon, EA need to get the licensing and the permission from either the player themselves or the player's family, so I'm assuming that they don't have that, because for me I cannot see how Bobby Charlton does not deserve to be an icon in the future. Coming in at number 7, we have the first of many Germans on this list, Oliver Kahn. Oliver Kahn was a goalkeeper who played most of his career at Bayern Munich, and being brutally honest, he was an absolute psychopath. He played for 21 years and made 780 club appearances. As well as this, he also made 86 appearances for his national team, Germany. As mentioned, he played most of his career at Bayern Munich, and with Bayern Munich he won 8 league titles, 6 DFB he won 6 German Cups, a Champions League, a Europa League and an Intercontinental Cup. As well as this, he also helped Germany win the Euros, and they came runner-up in the World Cup in 2002. In that 2002 World Cup, he was actually awarded the Golden Ball for being the best player in the tournament, and he is currently the only goalkeeper ever to win that award. Like everyone else on this list, he has also won a number of individual awards, including coming 3rd for the Ballon d'Or 2 years in a row, which for a goalkeeper is pretty much unheard of. Out of the 100 plus icons that EA have already got on the game, only 5 of them are goalkeepers. And in my opinion, the next best goalkeeper without an icon card is without doubt Oliver Kahn. I wouldn't be surprised if he was added in FIFA 23. Coming in at number 6, we have back-to-back Germans. Now this is someone I have once again predicted before, however, I can't see why he's not in the game. It's Franz Beckenbauer. If you've been living under a rock and you don't know who this man is, he's pretty much the only person who's in contention with Maldini as being the best centre-back of all time. He made over 750 appearances at club level, most notably again for Bayern Munich, but he also had stints at Hamburg and New York Cosmos, which is a team that I had never heard of before. However, it might be one of the greatest teams ever, because when he was playing for New York Cosmos, he was playing alongside Carlos Alberto, Johan Cruyff and Pelé. What in the career mode is that? At club level, he also scored 98 goals in his career, despite being a centre-back. At international level, he received 103 caps, which makes him Germany's 9th most capped player, and he also scored 11 goals. Throughout his career, he won the Bundesliga 5 times, 4 times with Bayern Munich and once with Hamburg. He won 4 of the German Cups that I can't pronounce, and most impressively 3 Champions Leagues with Bayern in a row. He also won 3 league titles with New York Cosmos. However, after seeing the team, I'm not surprised. And he helped Germany win both the Euros in 1972 and captained them to winning the World Cup in 1974. He represented Germany at 3 different World Cups and 2 Euros. and again he has a ridiculous list of individual achievements. Some of these include being 4 times winner of German Footballer of the Year. He was named in the best 11 in all 3 World Cups that he played in, and he was named in the Bundesliga Team of the Season 12 seasons in a row. And if that wasn't enough, he's also won the Ballon d'Or twice, in 1972 and again in 1976. Now, the most interesting thing about Beckenbauer is that he was once on FIFA. He used to be a legend on FIFA from FIFA 15 to 17, however when they switched to icons, he was for some reason removed from the game. I don't really understand why, as you can see, Beckenbauer was without doubt one of the best defenders of all time, and there's no doubt in my mind that he deserved to be an icon at some point. Coming in at number 5, the halfway point, we have a player that I've been waiting for the longest time to be an icon, and not just because I've had flashback Kessie sat in my team on 7 chemistry for 3 months. It is the Ivorian beast, Yaya Toure. Yaya Toure played for many clubs over an 18-year career, but most notably for Man City and Barcelona. Throughout his career, he made 614 appearances and scored 102 goals. He's also made over 100 appearances for his country, which makes him the 4th most capped player in the Ivory Coast history. He's also scored 19 goals, which puts him 7th in their top scorer list, which is quite impressive considering he's a centre mid. He was part of the Barcelona team that won the La Liga, the Copa del Rey, the Spanish Super Cup, the Champions League, the UEFA Super Cup and the Club World Cup in the same year. He then transferred to Man City and helped them win 3 Premier League titles, as well as an FA Cup, 2 Carabao Cups and an FA Community Shield. However, Yaya Toure at Man City is notorious for having that season, in their 2013-14 title-winning season. In that season, he made 35 league appearances, scored 20 goals and got 9 assists, meaning he made 29 goals in 35 games from centre mid. Out of his 13 attempted free kicks, he scored 10 of them, and he had a 90% passing accuracy out of the 2,500 passes he attempted throughout the season. It was no surprise to anyone that he was named as Man City's Player of the Season that year. As well as having a very impressive club career, he also captained the Ivory Coast to winning the Africa Cup of Nations back in 2015. Now, it is clear to me that Yaya Toure is one of the best midfielders in modern football. Now, I'll be honest, I have seen some leaks about Yaya Toure, but apparently he might be added into the game as a hero, which I find frankly quite disrespectful, to be honest. I don't really think you can put Yaya Toure in the same category as Ricken and Dempsey, especially when there are already people like Deco and Veron who are already icons. There's no doubt in my mind that Yaya Toure is icon status, and I'm hoping, if he is in the game next year, I'm hoping that he is an icon, not a hero. Coming in at number 4, we have the 3rd and final German, Gerd Muller. Gerd Muller? Muller is a German striker who once again played mostly for Bayern Munich and is widely regarded as being one of the best finishers in history. Like every other German on this list, Bayern was his main club and he was there for 15 years. Throughout his career, he made 716 club appearances and scored 654 goals, which is ridiculously high. For Bayern, he scored 365 goals in 427 games, which makes him the top scorer not only of Bayern Munich, but of the entire Bundesliga. He is 40 goals clear of Lewandowski, who has literally just moved out of the Bundesliga. I think his record's probably quite safe. He has also scored 68 goals for the German national team in 62 games. That's a positive goals to game ratio. It also makes him the 2nd highest top scorer in Germany's history, despite playing less games than everyone else in the top 10. With Bayern Munich, he won 4 league titles, 4 German Cups, 3 Champions Leagues in a row, 1 Cup Winners' Cup and an Intercontinental Cup. He also helped Germany win the Euros and the World Cup. Throughout his career, he also received 7 Bundesliga Golden Boots, 4 Champions League Golden Boots and a World Cup Golden Boot, and unsurprisingly, in 1970, he won the Ballon d'Or. As you can see, by him having enough Golden Boots to fit a centipede, Gerd Muller was one of the best strikers of all time, and definitely without doubt deserved to be an icon in FIFA. Coming into the top 3, we have got one that I feel like is pretty much guaranteed. Maybe not this year, but in the future for sure. Sergio Aguero. Sergio Aguero is without doubt one of the best strikers, if not the best striker in the modern era. Playing mostly for Atletico Madrid and Man City, he made 685 club appearances and scored 385 goals. Now obviously because of his goal scoring record, he is Man City's top scorer in history. However, he's nearly 100 goals clear of the person in second place. He's also got a ridiculous goal scoring record for his country, Argentina. In 101 appearances, Aguero scored 41 goals, putting him third in his country's all-time top scorers, and it also means he's the second highest human on that list, because obviously number 1 is clearly the GOAT. Here come all the dislikes from the Ronaldo fans. Throughout his career, he won 5 Premier League titles, an FA Cup, 6 EFL Cups, 3 Community Shields, a Europa League, a UEFA Super Cup, and most recently helped Argentina win the 2021 Copa America. On top of all of these trophies, he also won an incredible amount of individual awards, including 7 Player of the Month awards, which, fun fact, he also actually uses them to hold up his camera when he's streaming on Twitch. He's also won 1 Golden Boot, which is actually less than I thought it would be, but he was also recently inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame. Aguero is without doubt worthy of being an icon. However, the only reason he's so far down the list and not number 1, he actually only retired this year due to a medical condition affecting his breathing. However, there is no doubt in my mind that he will be an icon on FIFA very, very soon. I mean, plus it's fairly obvious what his icon moments would be.
The City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero!
Coming in at number 2, we have another Brazilian icon, because clearly there's not enough at the moment. It is of course Zico. Zico is regarded as being one of the best attacking midfielders of all time, to the extent where people gave him the nickname the White Pele, which you probably wouldn't get away with calling someone nowadays, but... Playing most of his career in Brazil, he ended up making 700 career appearances and scored 469 goals in those games. As well as this, he also received 71 caps for his national team Brazil and scored 48 goals. This makes him the 5th highest goal scorer in Brazil's history, ahead of the likes of Rivaldo and Ronaldinho. He's also scored over 100 goals from free kicks, which is the most in history. Zico represented Brazil at 3 different World Cups, but he never actually won the competition and is therefore considered to be the greatest Brazilian in history to never win the World Cup, which I kind of feel like is rubbing it in a little bit, to be honest. I feel like it's a bit harsh. With the Brazilian club Flamengo, he won 10 league titles, an Intercontinental Cup and a Copa Libertadores. He also won a crazy number of individual awards, including being the top scorer in Flamengo's history. He scored the most goals in a single season for Flamengo, which was 81, and he holds the record in the Japanese league for the most goals scored in consecutive games. Another interesting thing about Zico is he's another player who's been on FIFA before. For those of you who played FIFA back in the day, there used to be a team called the Classic 11, which Zico was a part of, alongside the likes of Eric Cantona, who of course was recently added as an icon himself. In my opinion, Zico is definitely one of the best attacking midfielders, and it's only a matter of time before EA finally add him as an icon into the game. Coming in at number 1, we have someone that I was very confident would be in the game last year, and then he wasn't. We have got someone who is regarded as being one of the greatest players ever. He's in the conversation with Cruyff, Maradona, Pele, all of those. It is Alfredo Di Stefano. Now, lots of people may have never heard of him because he played mostly in the 1940s to the 1960s. However, as I said, many people put him in the argument as being the best player of all time. Playing as a centre forward or centre attacking mid, Di Stefano made 669 career appearances and scored 487 goals in total. He spent most of his career at Real Madrid, where he scored 308 goals in 396 games, which gives him a 0.78 goals to game ratio. And if you're not a massive nerd like me and you don't know what that means, he scored a lot of goals in not very many games. His goal scoring record also means that he is Real Madrid's 3rd top scorer behind Raul and Cristiano Ronaldo. However, this is made even more impressive by the fact that Raul only scored 15 more goals than Di Stefano in 345 more games. Di Stefano was also interesting in the fact that he managed to represent 3 different national teams. He first represented Argentina, making 6 appearances and scoring 6 goals. 2 years later in 1949, he then switched allegiances to Colombia, representing them 4 times, however not scoring any goals. 8 years after that, he made his first appearance for the Spanish national team, and for Spain he received 31 caps and scored 23 goals, making him the joint 8th top scorer and has by far the best goals to game ratio in the country's history. Now, since he played mostly for Spain, my prediction would be that he would be a Spanish icon. However, it would be very interesting if EA made like his mid-icon Argentinian, for example. I think that would be really interesting. With Real Madrid, he won 8 La Liga titles, 1 Copa del Rey, 5 Champions Leagues, 1 Intercontinental Cup and 2 Latin Cups. And he also won 2 Ballon d'Ors in 1957 and 1959, narrowly beating John Charles. He's also the only person I've ever heard of to win a Super Ballon d'Or. I don't even know what that is. How Di Stefano isn't an icon yet on FIFA, I have no idea. Maybe it's a licensing issue again, as I mentioned earlier, but there's no doubt in my mind that he's one of the best players ever. He's one of the greatest goal scorers of all time, and he would be a ridiculously good card to use on the game. However, that is my top 10 predictions for future icons. I mean, it is a prediction for FIFA 23, but if they come out in years to come, I'm still claiming it. If there are any others that you think I missed out, please feel free to let me know down below in the comments. Last time I did get quite a few comments, but most of them were me predicting Francesco Totti's prime card to be 89 rated, which I got absolutely rinsed for, so I'm hoping all of my rating predictions were closer this time. However, that is where I'm going to end this video, so if you guys have enjoyed, please feel free to leave a like down below. Turn on those notifications to get notified when my video goes live. As I said earlier, if you have any predictions that you think I missed out, please feel free to let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all in my next video. See ya.